to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. And I'm really excited about this episode because we're going to do Washington State Syrah. And I love Washington State Syrah. I think I've mentioned it many, many times. And if you are planning on having prime rib for Christmas, which I am, Washington State Syrah is an excellent choice to go with that meal. So we're going to try two from Washington State. They're a little bit higher priced, but as I explained before, a lot of you guys like to spend a little extra money on your wine during this holiday season. And I also mentioned that it's one of my favorite times to work in my department because I get to talk about the wines and share them, and people ask me my opinion. They're buying a gift for somebody. It's just a great time. Unlike, the middle of the summer where tourist destinations stop, where I love that time. It's busy, but this is more personal in the wine department for me. And so I really like it. So let's get started right off the bat. We are doing Tenet Wines, the Pundit Syrah. This is a 2015. It rolls in at $25. And I'm just going to read the back label here because this is an interesting project. Created through a unique collaboration between Washington State Chateau Ste. Michelle and the Rhone's Michael Gassier, with consulting enologist Philippe Camby. That's what it says, Camby. The pundit expresses a finesse and balance typical of France's Rhone Valley with the attitude of Washington's Great Columbia Valley. There you go. This is a collaboration with between three people. Chateau Ste. Michelle is behind the project, and it rolls in at $25. Let's see what we got here. The Pundit. Okay, show you the label. It's kind of a cool label. It's got, I guess it's an owl. I don't know. A bird of some sort. It looks like an owl to me. The Pundit. And I'm sure if I was up on my birds, I'd know that had some reference to the type of bird, but I'm not up on my bird, so you'll have to excuse me for that. Let's see what we get on the nose. So right off the bat, I get a little bit of the smoky blueberries. A little bit of tar and a little bit of raspberry coming through. The interesting thing about Rhone Valley versus Washington State is that Washington State is on the same parallel as the Rhone Valley. So a lot of similarities in the weather, except they don't get the mistral winds, of course. Big difference there. They do get a lot of wind over in eastern Washington. This is Columbia Valley, but not like the mistral winds that really blow through there. So it gives the Rhone wines a little bit more character, perhaps, than you get in the Washington State. But Washington State does Rhone fantastically. So let's see what we get on the palate. Nice nose, very typical. Sans the bacon fat. Not a lot of bacon fat on this one. I just get a little bit of that smokiness in the background. Let's see what we get on the palate. Solid structure, smooth tannins, just a little bit of a kind of, the tannins get a little bit of attitude on the backside, where a little bit of white pepper comes through, which I find very interesting. Solid, see, I'm trying to extract the fruit from this. I'm getting a little blackberry, a touch of blueberry, a little bit of plum coming through, and the raspberry is in the background. They all kind of meld together really nicely, so it's like a potpourri of those types of fruits, and none really stands out above the other, which is always nice when you're drinking a wine. We tend to use the term seamless because they just kind of all work together very nicely on the palate, and there's a little bit of that kind of bacon fat on the back side of this one. right on the back. You just kind of feel it, kind of wants to sneak in, but it doesn't get all the way through. And then you got that nice white pepper hit with a little bit of tar action on the backside. This has a solid core of tobacco as well. I like this wine. It's going to open up more and more as you leave it open. I would decant this wine for sure to get the most out of it. I did a little shaking earlier to kind of stir it up a little bit. Solid wine though, very solid, good structure, definitely prime rib. I'm talking, baby. This would be perfect with prime rib. I'm going to go solid B+ on that. I think it's a really good wine, a good expression of Washington State Syrah. I do like that kind of spicy white pepper hit on the back end. I like that a lot. Let's move on. Rinse here. I've reviewed some of these wines not too long ago on the YouTube channels, the Tranche Wines. Talked a little bit about the Corliss family who bought San Juan Vineyards out here in my neck of the woods. They bought it at the beginning of the year. Sad to say, the owner, a really good friend of mine, passed away, died just a couple months ago, instantly. She was working in her yard, and we miss her, Yvonne. We miss you a lot. But Michael Corliss and Lori Corliss bought San Juan Vineyards. They both work very hard. They love doing work in the vineyard. They work together nicely. They also own Corliss Wines, Tranche, and Secret Squirrel Wines. Those are their three labels, now to be included San Juan Vineyards. 2013 Tranche Cellars, Syrah, Blue Mountain Vineyard, Walla Walla Valley. I think I talked a little bit about Blue Mountain Vineyard. Really cool spot. You go over to Milton Freewater, head toward the Blue Mountains, and evidently Mike and Lori own quite a few vineyard acres up there. This rolls in at $30. $39, excuse me. $30. Maybe it's 39. I wrote that down wrong. It's $39. Excuse me. Whew. I remember going, because I looked these up on Wine Searcher. I like clicking and it says average price. So I just write down the average price of the wine on the back, and I'm almost positive it was $39. Oh, I put 30. Silly boy. Let's see what we get on the nose. This is smelling a little corked to me, which is not good. No. Something was there that just blew off quickly. Corked is when you get a little bit of taint in the cork, and when that gets into the wine, and it will really affect it. It'll make it smell like old books, wet cardboard, that sort of thing. And it's sometimes you can't catch it. Sometimes it's really obvious. This has some really high tones on it. Like, I get blueberry, but it's like a brighter blueberry. I get a little bit of red raspberry coming through. Slightly challenged on the nose, I will say that. Let's see what we get on the palate. This is even spicier than the first one, which I really like. I think this one, the Pundit, just to backpedal just a little bit before I talk about this wine, this also had a little bit of Mourvedre Grenache and Viognier in it. I believe this is 100% Syrah, the Tranche, but primarily Syrah. In fact, they call it Syrah, so it has to be at least 75% Syrah to call it that. This is a Syrah. He might co-ferment Viognier in it. I didn't see any of that in the tech sheets, but he might. A lot of people like to do that. It kind of ramps up the bouquet a little bit and gives us a more lift on the palate. Lots of boysenberry on this one. A little bit of currants coming through. Nice spiciness on the backside, no doubt from the oak treatment. Good solid tannins, but they're smooth, just like the first one. Just showing a little bit of attitude on the backside. Once again, and then you get that blueberry kind of raspberry thing on the back of the finish. The finish is going on quite a long time, which I really like in a wine. I tried a wine yesterday, I believe I was trying a wine, and it just disappeared on the mid palate. And nothing after that. And that's not a good sign in a wine at all. Nice tobacco on this one too. Little tardy element coming through. Not the bacon fat. This has a higher tone to it. A lot of times that bacon fat comes through when you get a little bit of a more brooding fruit on the palate. This is nice and spicy. It's a 13. They're probably on a different vintage by now. But this one came out of the cellar. I was looking for the alcohol content. I don't like to spend a lot of time, as you know, but it's always fun to kind of look and see. Once again, I'm always mystified at how hard they try to hide it. There it is, 14.8. They have a wiggle room of about 1% or more, so it could be higher than that. But it feels really balanced, feels really nice, and has good high tones to it. Make it a perfect prime rib wine. I think it's a classic example. This actually is more Rhone style than that one, which is interesting because they have a Rhone winemaker here. This is more, reminds me more as you go up north, up to near Côte Rôtie, Saint Joseph, those types of areas. You get this kind of Hermitage sort of thing. You get more of that high-tone blueberry notes. Once again, I would decant this one as well before you drink it. It certainly wouldn't hurt it. It's nice the way it is now. They've been open for quite a while, so that's good. I like that high tone, good structure, nice and seamless across the palate. I'm going to go B+ on that one as well. So both two B+ Syrahs from Washington State. Very excited about that. I think they're worthy of a Christmas meal if it involves prime rib. I certainly wouldn't use these with ham. A lot of people do Christmas ham. Of course, we will have a Pinot Noir episode to kind of, that's a great compliment to ham, at least in my opinion. You can use Syrah. It just, it's just that you need something with a little more fat to it. Than ham. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and get more and more subscribers. It's very exciting. Come on the team, hit the bell so you know what's coming up next. And if you want to hook up with me on Instagram, I'm at Stan the Wine Man, and then on Twitter, Stan the Wine Man as well. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.